Hey everyone, it's Tasty from Bloodofkittens, and in this week that was tournaments, you guessed it, Tyranids are still winning. Right after this, quick intro! Hello and welcome back to the week that was in Warhammer 40k tournaments, where we speed through some of the winning lists from the previous weekend. Last weekend saw 8 events with at least 5 rounds and 28 players with 4 major events. Tyranids grabbed 10 out of 24 possible top 3 podiums, continuing an unbroken chain of dominance since the release of their new codex. So with that, let's take a quick sample look at the list that tried to stand out from the 8 tournaments over the last weekend. Starting with the most surprising result from the weekend was at Bluff City Open, where first place winner Seth Piper's Black Templars went 6-0. Seth's Templars used a pretty balanced list, including a Crusader squad, an Outrider squad, and only used one small squad of Vanguard vets. How this list won is a testament to Seth's skill as a player, as he had to go through AdMech, Custodes, Crisis Tau, Meta Aeldari, Grey Knights, and then finally beating Meta Tyranids. Moving on to the first major, the Bugeater, we find third place winner Michael Mann's Drukhari taking good old Prophets of Flesh and dropping over 70 racks and a ton of grotesque in his opponent's faces. Such a mass of bodies is very hard to remove and prove decisive in his victories. Michael went 5-1 by battling Ultramarines, Imperial Knights, some more Imperial Knights, then he lost to the eventual Tau winner. He then beat Demons/Chaos Space Marines list and then finally beat Tau. Next to Berlin and the Breakingheads Cup number 2 major, with Matthias Bellman's Aeldari grabbing second place. Matthias's list leaned a lot into speed, with 18 Wind Riders, 20 Swooping Hawks, and even a few Vipers. Matthias also chose a custom craft roll with Hail of Doom and Masterful Shots to really maximize efficiency and get some extra AP on those weapons. Matthias' impressive road to 4 wins and a tie had him face Thousand Suns, Warrior Spam Nids, more Nids, again with some more Nids, and finally Aeldari. Back to the United States, we have our third major and the War Games Con number 7, with first place winner Colin McDade's Tyranids. Having just missed out a few weeks earlier on a major victory, Colin this time squeaked out first place by just battle points and a high point tie in the final round. Colin's Tyranids chose to use Kraken for that extra speed, not like his 15 Raveners really needed it though. Colin's path was against Aeldari, Imperial Guard, Thousand Suns, Custodes, Tyranids, and then finally Tyranids again. Okay, at the Factorum BAIU, we had second place Jack Harding winning with his non-Bloody Rose Sisters list. Jack's list went hard into Retributors and full multi-melta spam, making sure any high toughness army didn't stand a chance. Jake chose our Martyred Lady, making any opponent regret destroying or hurting his units. Jake's games were against Tyranids, Harlequins, then he lost to Crisis Tau, then he beat Death Guard, and then had some revenge by beating another Crisis Tau list. On to the Summer Showdown, where we find Imperial Knights making it in the top 3 with second place finisher Sebastian Huber. Sebastian went with Free Blades in his list and took the terror from editions past, the Knight Castellan. Of course, he also took a host of the small bread and butter armigers. Sebastian went 4-1 with almost a perfect battle point score if not for his one loss. He took on an Imperial Knights mirror match, Custodes, White Scars, then he lost to Metanids, and then he finally beat Space Wolves. At the Portal Summer GT, Stephen Wilmoth's Tau got third place. Stephen went 4-1 with a very balanced Tau list that only had 9 crisis suits, but he mixed in some Hammerheads, Strike Teams, and Kroot Hounds. The amount of different units most likely threw his opponents off on deciding on which of Stephen's units were the biggest threats. Stephen played against Thousand Suns, Chaos Knights, Necrons, Nids, and then finally lost to Nids. Lastly, we have our fourth major, the London June GT, and surprise third place finisher Nassim Fakane Space Marines. Thanks to grabbing a lot of points and not having to fight that extra round, Nassim grabbed a podium. Nassim went with Iron Hands, taking all the best current Space Marines have to offer, including Redemptor Dreadnoughts, Vanguard Vets, and Drop Pod Devastators. He also threw in the underrated Eliminators for sneaking on objectives. Nassim went 4-1 by scoring a ton of points against Deathwatch, losing to Aeldari, beating Blood Angels, then beating Orcs, and then finally crushing Imperial Knights. Well, that will do it for this week. Thanks for watching. Not much has changed in the meta landscape with Tyranids doing their thing. Chapter approved can't come soon enough. Don't forget though, if you want to see the rest of the top 3 lists in detail, click on the links in the description below. And as always, if y'all like this content, please leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and ring that bell. Thanks again.